dating issue whereby most men are giving to all women, and all women are basically raising the stock of their time, their effort, their pride. The ladies in this department. Now the ladies could either pass on. No, now I've got it. The ladies, because I was a bit frazzled in terms of the actual connection on YouTube and IG, of course. But again, we are back. We are live. Thank goodness. And what has happened is the rich, being the ladies of the market of any rating from 0 to 10, the ladies have decided not to is take it upon themselves to get noticed. And what they are doing in order to get noticed is simping. Now, simping, finally got to it. Simping is the exercise of gentlemen seeing that there is an inequity in the dating department, in the sexual marketplace, and have decided to do whatever it takes in order to even the odds in terms of paying money, telling women that they are beautiful, or doing anything, quite simply, to get noticed by women so that they can, in the investigation of things, is a black pill dating site. A black pill, I would say dating site, black pill site. And in terms of black pill, those who believe in the black pill are those gentlemen who believe that because of their looks, because of their inadequacies, that puts them at a total disadvantage with women in terms of dating and sex. And so what they would rather ostracize themselves in the dating market, sometimes committing suicide themselves, sometimes keeping to themselves, and totally leaving any sort of, rather than standing and fighting, rather leaving the dating market altogether and be amongst themselves for a lifetime in order to cope. Opponents of the black pill space is indeed Mr. Wheat Waffles. Now, Mr. Wheat Waffles is, I think he's a fantastic YouTuber. He posts some great content, but we're going to share one of his videos first in order to further, elucidate this problem for the masses. And I hope. Get out of here! Wow, that's one of the good things about being at a bar. Is that you can handle your own decisions right here. So again, we are back here at Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Sorry about that. We were just hit by a little bit of a disturbance here. That was just running around, unfortunately. But we are back. We are ready. We are ready to go. Sometimes these things happen. But again, we're getting into this video. Sims will ruin dating for everyone in 5 years. Everyone being every male for 5 years. Well, women in general. Men in particular, women in general. I mean, all sexes in general. And we're going to get to it now on Talk Live. So let's get into this video. And again, we're talking about how Sims must die. I'm saying not Sims must die. How simping must die. I don't say Sims must die. Simping must die. So let me, I do not advocate violence or death of any person in any way, shape, or form. So
5 million in just 2 years. This man paid more on OnlyFans than he did on rent last month. This teenager donated $20,000 worth of life savings to Twitch e-girls.
I comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, sponsored by Dun Talk. So you just heard in the beginning of the post, Sims will ruin dating for everyone in 5.
And first, from an innumerable count of desperate guys. Once more boiled down, the dating market is getting more and more screwed. Anyway, the focal question.
So again, as we say, with Sims directing all of their attention not only to the top, the top ladies out there, the feminine, beautiful, inspirational, the 8, 9s, and 10s out there, they're putting a lot of, of their attention towards average ladies and below average ladies, in fact, to a point where these ladies consider themselves to be 10, so they're directing all of their attention towards the top 20% of gentlemen, the Chads and Tyrones, which is, the Chads and Tyrones don't care about these ladies. They're inundated with they're inundated with their attention, but at the end of the day, they don't care about them because, they only want the best. So in terms of looks. So why would they want to cater to women who see themselves as average or below average? Well, that is the issue that we have right now. Simping is putting attention in the hands of women who, for lack of a better word, don't really deserve all this attention, and it's overvaluing women, and this overvalue has taken women's ideals towards thinking that they are top women, and so they should direct, but still women will consider themselves 10s and keep that attention towards these top 20%, even though they won't be essentially, wanted by these gentlemen in of 8, 9s, and 10s, the Chads and Tyrells of the world anyway. So, but they're keeping that attention still on the top 20%, thinking, hope upon hope, that these gentlemen will come along and, will give them a chance. When in fact, that's not indeed the case. In fact, it's come to a point where, and I think this will be pointed out in due course, these women would have made a decision that they would rather have the minute attention of the top 20% than the attention of the rest of the dating market. Which is sad, but true. Women have now got it in their heads. They'd rather be a side chick to gentlemen, to the 8, 9s, and 10s, and hope they hit it out of the park in terms of the relationship, dating / marriage lottery, rather than dealing with an ordinary gentleman. Now, certain women will, will have the light bulb flash above their heads and realize that, this is not a game. This is not a game they should be playing, and they will get it, and they will, change their dating habits towards a normal gentleman, if not sub 5 gentlemen, knowing where their place is in the dating hierarchy. But a lot of women won't. They just won't. They rather just keep their attention on the top 20%, or they'll turn their attention to the pink alternative, or just buy a dog, cat, and die alone, which is throwing everything under asunder. And remember, we're dealing with in a market in which 40% of gentlemen will breed offspring into future generations. 1 out of 3 gentlemen are not having sex have not had sex in the last year, and won't have sex for the majority going forward, because they're seen as nameless and faceless. They do not have the personality. They do not have the game. They do not have the looks. They do not have the charms. They do not have the job and the status necessary to attract women. They're nobodies. They are the gentlemen behind any sort of service / restaurant group. They are the gentlemen who who are at low-paying jobs, who keep society moving forward, that women would never cast an eye on in their lifetime. And this is going not only from 8, 9s, and 10 women, which we expect, but to those of 6, 8, 9s, and 10s, but adjustable 6s, 5s, 4s, and on down the road up to 1s, because they will not be associated with an ordinary gentleman, which is sad. Childbirth and marriage on the rocks and out of reach for many people, similar to the housing market. We continue.
Of this video is going to be why. Why is simping at an all-time high and continuing to set new all-time highs year on, and the pool of accepted men becomes more and more concentrated to the guys at the top. This leaves a problem, because for the majority of men at the bottom, their desires haven't changed. They have just as much of a will to compete as they always have had. So, in order to fulfill these desires, they've only got 2 options. Either grind for several years trying to reach the top 10%, which is far from guaranteed, or to simp over women and to pay for their time so they notice. It's one of these 2 things, or you give up. And for a lot of guys, the simping option looks the most desirable because they see it as the easiest ticket back in the game. But of course, the problem is, simping never works out in the long run. Because even if a below-average guy manages to attract the top woman into a relationship this way, the woman isn't actually attracted to him, rather only for what he can provide. There will always be a power imbalance, as the man has essentially said to the girl from minute 1, you and your time is worth So I'm happy to make up for that with my financial contribution. Relationships formed this way have no foundations and therefore are a disaster waiting to happen.
So again, that is, well, the blue pill route. Yeah, it's pretty much the blue pill route, and basically pay for a woman's time. And as they were saying here, this creates a power imbalance. This creates a power imbalance whereby women hold the cards and men don't in terms of dating and marriage. And with that power imbalance, women will never respect the gentleman for simping. They'll never look at, men are never seen as equals in these sort of relationships because it's driven by money. They're only there for your money. The only reason why you're around the only reason why a woman has stuck around so if a woman of 8, 9, and 10 is there with an average looking guy, it's because of his money. And again, that has been true for time immemorial. The man with the most resources will procure a lady. They are paying for it, and it's creating this power imbalance whereby at the end of the day, women will never respect these gentlemen because they haven't been there to grind for years. They haven't been able to set boundaries. They haven't been able to get their money up. They haven't been able to improve their muscularity, their looks, their standing in society. They haven't decided to do the hard work. And again, because of their money, but men have accepted this, and so they are called simps. This is what simping is all about. They've decided to use their money in order to gain a woman's attention, curry a woman's favor, and be considered an apple of the eye of these women. But at the end of the day, these women will never respect them in the first place. And that's why I say simping must die, because it makes it not only bad for the gentlemen themselves, but for the whole dating market, because it places a lot of people out of that market. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? Hope you do. We're going to continue with this.
Now moving on to reason 2, the deceptive and misleading agenda of the mainstream media. The whole world wants men to be simps. Aspiring to be a simp, he'd believe he should be proud to call himself one, and it reinforce in his mind it's his duty to mindlessly hand out for women. But let me make myself clear. There is absolutely nothing admirable about being a simp as a man. Simping can be done anytime for any woman and therefore has no value. But now there's a growing presence of people like this guy who are saying the opposites, which therefore will neutralize the bias in the mainstream. This is a dumb argument, because although it might be true for the moment, I promise you it'll be short-lived. This is because for the major media outlets
to be resolute, to be confident, intelligent, assertive, to want the best for themselves, and to improve oneself to a point where they become a near chat, a person to be valued by ladies, because men aren't spending in these situations. Not so whereby simping, it gives the impression that in order for me to procure a woman's attention, I must spend. I must do whatever it takes in order to get that attention, even though it is, basically a false narrative. Basically, it leads to it's a road to nowhere, and that doesn't serve. That does not serve any sort of economy well, right? In a capitalist society, they want men spending, and if in order to curry a woman's attention, they don't want men to stand up for themselves. They don't want men to improve themselves. They don't want men to get in the gym and make themselves the best possible in terms of halterophilia, in terms of their weight training, and in terms of their body, and in terms of their body image. They'd rather a man spend, whereby it doesn't pay a gentleman because he'll never be valued by the object of their desire, the object of their attention, the object of their financial of their financial outlay, which is a woman. They'll never be respected by them. Not only by the women who's highest in their mind's eye, but
In essence, when you look at the way men's minds have evolved, it should be obvious that there are plenty of men still queuing up for women to simp to this day. After all, it is all they've ever known. Now, in terms of solutions, the only way to rectify this will be to educate all men on these dating market changes, so they'd understand that their default urges of trying to attract women through resource provision aren't as relevant anymore. However, this solution would be almost impossible to implement, because even though times have changed, you can't just undo tens of thousands of years worth of evolution overnight. And to provide evidence to this, just look at this channel. What do you think I've been trying to do for the last 2 years? And all in all, I've amassed 11 million views, which, although impressive sounding, this is still less than 0.25% of the entire world's population. Anyway, this brings me nicely to my...
So basically, just going to rewind this back again. I mean, men have been hardwired for centuries to amass resources in order to as we've already used by the tenants. You got to be 6 foot tall. You have to have a six pack. You got to have a 6 inches or more, and you have to be having a 6-figure salary. All these things matter, and you have to have game. So, being just a simp, throwing your money at a problem doesn't work anymore, because looks are king. To put it simple and plain, it's not money being king, it's looks being king now, right? Even though you have money, women are still not throwing themselves at you anymore. It's all about looks these days. It's all about how about a man's game these days. That's what wins these days. That is key. And those are usually based on looks, not based on a man's salary. You have to have the 6 foot tall, 6-figure salary, 6-pack abs, 6 inches or more, have that game in order to gain a woman's attention. But off rip, you need to have the look. You need to have, women always specify they'll only take gentlemen who are 6 feet or taller. That's their first choice. So gentlemen, why, I speak to the gentlemen who are watching this video, why are you throwing money at an issue where money is not king anymore? It isn't. Sure, with money, it's not because they necessarily like you or they were attracted to you. They realize that they are securing their future by being with you and your money. But they not necessarily love you. They love looks first. That's what they love. It's not money first. It's not the security. No matter how much money you make, those are the number one concerns. And if you don't meet those concerns, guess what? You are relegated to the middle 40% or the bottom 50%, the sub 5s. And if you're in charge of who is married and to whom you're in a relationship with, why throw money at why throw exorbitant funds at an issue? I understand you have to throw some money at an issue. That's the only way that women can put some trust into you. But you shouldn't be throwing all of your money into that. You shouldn't be throwing the dating market into disarray by throwing all the money at this issue, because women aren't going to choose you anyway. So why simp? Why make the dating market a market in which women control, but men make decisions in? Don't get it. You don't get it. Think about that. I mean, if you're in control of relationships and marriage and that decision, why would you throw money at women if you're the ultimate decision maker? Just because of sex? Okay. But sooner rather than later, that ideal dies quickly, dies fast. And then they realize, oh, they're only need me for my money. Yeah, that's right, they do. That's when you know you're a simp. But if you have boundaries, if you have goals, if you make improvements upon yourself, the greater advantage is with you and not with women. So why throw money at women, guys? Just for their attention? Seriously? It boggles the mind. Yes, you need to throw, there's a bit of, quid pro quo. There's an exchange that needs to go on in order for women to know and really respect you at the end of the day. Because simping nowadays doesn't work. It literally doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. Women have driven their sexual attention to gentlemen with looks. It was at one time about money, but now it's about looks. So worry about yourself rather than worry about throwing money at an issue in which is not king anymore. We continue.
Yeah. Would that, even if men knew they could change, anyway, this brings me nicely to
there we go. We're back now.
Which is that, even if men knew they could change, would they really want to? In other words, are men blinding themselves by their own delusions because they're refusing to accept the harsh reality of why guys are like this is because men will have the hardest time coming to terms with the black pill. For some, the truth is just too hot to handle. And why can't they handle the truth? Well, if a man goes online seeking the truth about dating, he's going to be exposed to many different communities. He's going to see those blue pill articles, like the ones shown earlier that say it's a fantastic idea to simp. He's also going to encounter pickup artists, red pill self-improvement gurus, and maybe black pill too if he reaches as far as my channel. Anyway, of all of these top ones are the most alluring because they take the least effort by far. Blue pill? Just be nice, just buy her some chocolates and a bouquet of flowers. She'll be falling head weeks in a dark room alone trying to build your career or business. And finally, when we get to black pill, this teaches you the importance of improvement, but it also says how crazily difficult it is to climb the ladder of success. Black pill is the only ideology that teaches you can put in all of the work in the world into improving your dating life.
And red pill, they have the red pill added, the red pill events, attack modes, and you have the black pill mode of attack and consciousness. So with blue pill, it's all about basically being nice and buying her attention. With the red pill, it's about basically having better game and also putting more effort into yourself, putting more effort in the gym, putting more efforts into your career. And then you have the black pill, which literally says, yes, you can do all these things, but at the end of the day, genetics and natural selection have deemed it so that Chaz and Tyrone's will have a better chance of dating women than most other gentlemen out there anywhere. So it's all about how you wish to proceed. So again, simping is a blue pill thing. Simping is simply a blue pill thing. You buy her chocolates, you buy her flowers, you be nice, you curry to her favor, curry to her attention, and somehow, some way, she will select you among the others. That's usually, and to a lot of men are starting to see this. It's usually the first route towards literally being ostracized from the dating market. That leads you to the bottom 50%, especially if you only have a certain amount of looks and a certain stature for yourself. So you have to curry your attention. But again, if your genetics are so that you need to do this, I understand. But if you don't need to do this, why do it? because this caters to the sub fives. This caters to gentlemen who are of are below average height or below average looks in order to curry a woman's attention. You got to be nice. You got to buy her, chocolates, flowers, do whatever is necessary to curry her favor and attention, so that you are the winner in the long run. But if the day and if you are of a certain look and of a certain height, I get it. But at the end of the day, simping doesn't work because a woman doesn't respect you at the end of the day. So I usually subscribe to the red pill about if a woman respects, or there's a mutual respect between men and women. Let's say that. Women have to respect his game. And you can take your pick as to what you want. But I am definitely a red pill sort of gentleman. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have I'd rather fight for my own self-respect and have women respect me in return than to lose that respect or to not try at all. And that's why I say simping must die, because simping is like any housing market. Sooner or later, too much money will should be valued as. Do you get it now? Women are houses. And in any housing market, women will always see themselves as above average. Yes? And as a house that, even though it may be in a certain type of house, life will be much simpler. Much, much simpler. And that's why I say simping must die, because just to throw money at something that doesn't really treat you as equals, what's the point? Literally, what's the point? We continue.
Anyways, tying this back to the original points, for all the reasons just explained, this is why you see a near perfect downward correlation between the subscriber counts YouTube channels have and the difficulty. Channel is Base Zeus at 1.4 mil, Red Pill channel is Fresh and Fit at 800k, and lastly, the most subbed Blackpool channel is yours truly, who's inches away from 100k, just like he also is from 650.
Well, I disagree with this. Well, I think he goes on these numbers on those who are still posting and still broadcasting on YouTube, and of course the African diaspora space, to which Fresh and Fit themselves have taken many of his ideas and moved forward in terms of their channel growth. So I still say the leader in terms of the red pill is definitely Kevin Samuels. Absolutely. Hands down. But you can see these sort of, the chart and where most people would put their attention, and that is in the blue pill space, which is, I can't understand it. I literally can't understand it. I'm a bit gobsmacked that the numbers of 10 million people will go toward blue pill spaces, and I don't get it. But again, we move forward with things, and again, it is in terms of subscriber counts, more men would rather throw money at the issue and see where it puts them than actually working on themselves and improving on themselves in order to make themselves better people and also obtain the respect of women in general. So I'm stunned by these numbers, but again, the path of least resistance will always procure. Well, I would say, yeah, exactly. No throwing your money at an issue. Yeah, it is. It is the path of least resistance, to be fair. And the path of least resistance will definitely procure men in those sites.
By way of the blue pill is the optimal dating strategy, as it means yours to impress a female. You are, by definition, simping, no exceptions.
There it is. Men are as I was saying in the video on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live again. Like, subscribe, comment. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Link in the description. Fall winter line out now. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, people. So please like, subscribe, comment, and we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So please, 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 please. Have increased steadily in terms of GDP over the last 50 years. We are talking about how much easier it is for people to go on vacations and to to be with significant others in interesting locales. And it says right here, for a woman, literal debt to curry a woman's attention and favor. That is stunning to me. Truth be told, if I had to spend over $500 on a woman in order to sleep with her, I would consider that too much. Because clearly, she does not, in my estimation, she does not favor me. I'll say that again. If I had to spend over $500 on a woman in order for her to sleep with me, then it's not worth the effort. It isn't. Sure, you have to put some money, some outlay on finances in order to procure a woman. But again, you're dealing in a situation in which women will offer themselves freely to gentlemen if they have a certain look. So what would cost a man $1,000, $1,500, up to $4,000 or $5,000 would take some men, they would get it for free. Off rip. Because of how they look. Women would sleep with them, one night stand, no problem, for free. They don't have to spend a dime. In fact, women would spend on them first in order to gain their attention. Such is the advantage Chaz and Tyrone's have, or those highest in the looks department. So why are you subjecting yourself to spend thousands of dollars in order to curry a woman's attention and favor? It's beyond me. Unless in your circle of friends, ladies and gentlemen, would you consider a simp? How many? And here's another way of putting it: how many? You are the ultimate simp, gentlemen. If it's taking you over $1,000 to sleep with a woman. You can literally go to any sort of escort site and spend that sort of money, and women would usually sleep with you to whatever requirements you have, sexual desires you have. But for an ordinary woman to charge you $1,000 to sleep with them is ridiculous. Stop simping. It makes no sense to me. If you have to leave yourself out in the wilderness, so be it. But at least I have my self-respect, and in return, a woman's respect. You must work on yourself. You must work on your game. You must work on your body. You must work on your career. Chase your passions. Do not chase these women who set limits on women. Who read women the riot act to say, this is my limit. This is as far as I'm going. These are my do's and don'ts. This is as far as I go. And if it takes you more than $1,000 to sleep with a woman, then you shouldn't be there. You literally shouldn't be there. All the male content creators on YouTube. He talks about fashion. He talks about male grooming. He talks about simple male improvement. And I think he's one of the more valuable men on YouTube at this point in time, and content creators on YouTube at this time. See, because he tells it like it is, and I do appreciate his content. Go see the Style OG. He makes incredible content, and here he's talking about 10 signs you might be a simp and how you can fix it. So let's go there now. Now you're a simp. Now you're throwing money at an issue which at the end of the day you control. Let's see how you can fix yourself. Let's go.
Today's video, we're going to talk about 10 signs you might be simp. Funny word, this word simp. It's actually been around for quite a long time, even back when I was a young kid. But it seems to have really picked up steam, especially on the internet, the last year or two. And here's the problem I see with it. Yes, I wholeheartedly believe simps exist, but probably not the way the modern guy is describing it. And that's what I want to talk to you about on today's video. I'm going to point out some things you might be doing that qualify you as a simp. Yes, simps do exist in my opinion, but I'm also going to let you know some things that don't make you a simp that I think the modern guy has misconstrued. But most importantly, if you find yourself simping, I'm going to give you some ideas and some thoughts on how you can fix it. So without any further delay, let's get into 10 signs you might be simp. Now, first of all, I think we need to define what a simp is, at least from my perspective. Now, when I was coming up, a simp was a sucker, a guy who just overdid it in the hopes of getting a woman's attention. He got made a fool of and taken advantage of by these women. If this is what you're doing, you're a simp. But let me tell you what a simp isn't. A gentleman isn't a simp. A man who believes that a woman has more value, way more value, than just for your physical satisfaction doesn't make you a simp. Being aware of and caring what women think and what they find appealing doesn't make you a simp. It makes you informed. It's funny, my whole life I've never been accused of being a simp until recently when I actually have made videos talking about how a woman wants to be treated. That makes you a simp. Okay, cool. I think the modern interpretation is way to the extreme. But that's normal in these modern times. People go to the extreme corner. But you have to be careful that you distinguish between someone who's a sucker and you being misogynistic. But with that out of the way, let's talk about from my perspective what I believe actually does make someone a simp. Simps do it.
Well, again, we could consider that sort of blue pill language to a certain extent. It's sort of blue pill language, which, but again, it takes all kinds. I can accept what he has to say in this respect, in terms of, he doesn't want to be misogynistic. He doesn't want, he leans towards the blue pill to a certain extent. And to a certain extent, I mean, women deserve respect. They deserve your, but there's a difference between giving women respect and to pedestalize them. And I think he's going to go into that. I think he's going to go into that right now. But in terms of misogyny, no, a woman does not need to be, you don't need to be misogynistic to women. But again, it shouldn't be the case where women, being a man who deserves respect and simping. So he's about to go through those details. So let's hear them now.
Sign number one that you might be a simp is if you put yourself in a submissive or inferior position in the hopes of landing a woman. That's simping 101. A woman that you're interested in that you don't even know isn't above or below you. She's just a human being like you. Why do you feel
is simpology. It comes from the school of simping. It is simp 101. Why put yourself at a disadvantage to a woman? Why throw your money and attention at a woman that in order to subject yourself to being inferior to her? I don't understand. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And that's one thing I will say that most African diaspora men abhor, because again, most of us found it hard to find resources. So simp behavior was mostly frowned upon. Let me just get some water here. I'm getting a bit of a African diaspora has never truly been there because we never had the resources to do it. But now that African American men have achieved a little more affluence over the last 50 years, and that is average African American men. Remember, 51% of African American men are in the middle class. 64 are single. Sorry, 51% are single and childless. To engage in simpish behavior, but to on an average extent, we've never been able to engage truly in a simp. This is more of a Caucasian issue, really. But again, with men of all races gaining that sort of affluence, we are indeed engaging.
And that's not something she had any control over. Why are you putting her on a pedestal or overvaluing her when you don't even know her? That's simple. Another surefire.
Very true. On a first date, you're putting this woman on a pedestal just because you think her looks are better than yours. Why? She haven't even proven herself in terms of her personality, in terms of her respect for you at all, and yet you pedestalize her. It's unnecessary. You're two average people. You are two equals. To a greater or lesser extent. Again, black people. Red pill would have something to say about that. But again, let's go on his premise. You're two equals, quite simply. So why are you pedestalizing the woman in the first place? That's the first way. One of the first reasons why women don't respect you is because you pedestalize them. Why? Why don't you have standards for yourself? Why don't you stand up for yourself? It's unnecessary, and that's simping 101. When a person doesn't stand up for themselves and he puts a woman over himself simply, and when he doesn't even know this person, simping 101. Continue.
Sign that you might be a simp is if you're the nice guy who uses being nice as a manipulative tool. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of times guys will say, I'm going to be super nice, and this woman's going to owe me a date. I'm going to nice her out of her phone number. That's very manipulative, especially if you're doing this nice thing in an effort to manipulate someone into owing you something. That's very simple. There's nothing wrong with doing the kind thing. It's good to be a generous, compassionate man. You want to be kind, not nice. A nice guy who tries to use niceness to manipulate a woman into liking him, you're simple. Another surefire sign.
Okay, now again, that is true. And I totally agree with him on that front, in that, to be overly nice to a woman in order to curry her attention, it never works. It usually doesn't work. Now, the point where we disagree is the fact that you could be kind and generous. Now, generous meaning, again, he's pseudo getting to a point where you throw money at a problem. You throw money at the issue. You throw money at a woman in order to curry her attention. That's what it implies. Now, if he means different, I can understand that, but that's what it implies to me. And I don't really subscribe to that sort of idea. I think men should set limits on themselves. I think they should set limits on a woman's attention and favor, because at the end of the day, she's either going to love you or hate you on your looks alone, on how you treat her. And if you treat her the nicest, you shouldn't have to throw all your money at the issue in order to have a shot at her in the bedroom, and also in terms of a relationship. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't. You'll know if a woman likes you by simple cues. You shouldn't have to throw money. And if they don't like you, you move on. Simple as that. As I was watching Fresh and Fit the other night, even the best of pickup artists, even the Chaz and Tyrones of the world, will only bag 1 out of 10 women that they talk to, because they know it's a numbers game. Think about that. Chaz and Tyrones of the world will only bag 1 out of 10 women in which they put their attention, because so women don't have any sort of, certain women do not trust Chaz and Tyrone because they are so well subscribed. They lose interest in certain women, and they find that it's a numbers game, and only many are called but few are chosen. So women drop out or men lose interest, and you work on a certain few, and either they work out or they don't. So again, think about that. Chad and Tyrone's, they have it bad as well. But they know it's a numbers game. They know they'll only sleep with 1 out of 10 women, but since they, they have looks on their side, they'll be able to, make up the numbers. But getting back to what my man said here is that, you shouldn't have to be overly nice in order to be with a woman. You shouldn't. You'll know if she likes you for you. And if she doesn't like you for you, get out of that relationship and move on. Get out of that fight and move on. And find that one who likes you for you while working on yourself and working on your purpose. Yes. And when you do that, more women will come to you anyway. Whether you are a Chad or Tyrone. But know that they don't have it that great themselves. So, we continue.
Could be simping, not recognizing or accepting the fact you're in the friend zone. Now this happens to simps a lot. They'll meet a woman, try to see if she likes them, and after months and months go by, nothing romantic has happened. You're still thinking you have a shot. No, my brother, you are in the friend zone. And 99% of you're still going out of your way to do nice things and spend time around. That's classic simping. One of the ways.
Absolutely true. This one I totally subscribe to altogether with. If you're in the friend zone, why be there? Why? If you're in the friend zone, you realize you're in the friend zone, move on, because these ladies are not going to get you out of it. Because once you're put in the friend zone, chances are you're not getting out of it. And the
Recognize if you're in the friend zone. If she puts you in the friend zone, just leave. Don't even be friends with her. There's no upside to it, except if you want to remain.
don't think your money's going to get you out of the situation. It isn't. It's only going to make you more simpish in your behavior. And a woman would never will respect the simp. They wouldn't. Continue.
My day used to call you Captain Saver. What the simp would do was always agree, always say women are right. Again, thinking they're going to curry favor with women. They can never see women do you wrong. You have to remember, there's a whole wide range of women. Some good, some bad, and many in between. Don't be so quick to categorically defend women in every situation.
Light with women. It doesn't. It literally doesn't. We continue.
Deal with what a lot of people have problems with. Not living in the gray area. Having balance. Here's what I mean. Simps put way too much effort and time trying to see women's approval. Now notice I said too much time and energy. All of us are going to put some effort into trying to attract the opposite sex. But it shouldn't be your main focus in life. Everything you do shouldn't be just to make women like you. Spend way more time on your purpose, being the best man you can be, developing yourself, but that doesn't have balance. Do not spend your whole life seeking women's approval 24/7. That's simple, my brother. Another sign of
Excellent. Now that's the red pill portion of the post. Men should try to understand women and what their likes and dislikes are. But at the end of the day, you should be working on your purpose. You should be working on yourself in order to, you have their heart. So, again, it's good to understand women, but at the end of the day, it's always best, and this is the red pill portion, and this is what I believe in wholeheartedly. It's about you and your self-improvement. That's what gains a woman's respect. That's what gains a woman's attention. That's what gains a woman's love. Yes. Once you love yourself. If you love yourself, other people will love you. You ever heard of that? Once you love yourself and puts efforts within yourself to build yourself to the best person you can be, other people will love you too. It's always been said. Not mean to be selfish, but if you put yourself first, put your purpose first, put your self-improvement first, other people will respect you and love you as well, including women. Definitely women. Because first comes respect, then comes love, then comes what you seek. Gentlemen, not simping. And that can be taken to any pill. Blue, black, pickup artist. That red pill adage is totally true. Respect yourself and others will respect you. Love yourself and others will love you as well. That's a...
Sims often have trouble drawing boundaries. They do everything they can to get the woman to like them at their own expense. You need to be in relationships, friends, family, but especially dating that involve reciprocity. Give and take. If you're constantly throwing money at women, constantly giving, and getting nothing in return, you're simping, my brother.
Hey, what did I just say? I said that earlier on. If you keep throwing money at an issue, that is simping 101. A woman will respect you for that. They see you as a sucker. They will see you as a sucker. As I said before, and this has remained tried, tested, and true. If you have to spend over $500 on a lady just to get the panani, that woman doesn't respect you. That woman won't sleep with you. And you are a simp. You say $150, 3 days, $450, you throw a $50 on top of that, $500. That should be more than enough to curry the attention of a female. More than enough. If you're spending over that mark, gentlemen, you're in the simp zone. You're in the simp zone. Like my man said here, there should be a reciprocity. There should be a give and take. At that level of things, there should be a give and take between man and woman to a point where she respects your time, she respects your efforts, and things should be moving forward. You spend over that amount of money, $500. If you spend over $500 on a lady, it's got to be said. You're engaging in simp behavior. Because remember, a woman will give it up for free to certain men. For free. Certain men have to pay. Sometimes you got to pay to play. I get that. But there has to be a limit. There has to be reciprocity. There has to be a give and take. And if that give and take asks you to spend more than $500 on a lady, in my estimation, guess what? You're a simp. Stop simping to these ladies. It's pricing the whole dating market into total... Again, women take that currency and use it on the top 20%. It's like getting a tax refund, expecting people to take that money into the market. They aren't. They're saving it. They're putting away in a GIC. They're hoarding it for themselves. They're keeping it to a certain level of individual. We're talking similar. If a woman sees herself as a house, even though it's run down, if men still bid on her, she would see herself as the best looking house there is on the street. And will charge top dollar in order for someone to buy her. Why? 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 This is why I say women see themselves... Women aren't tens, guys. But you're giving them every reason to be by engaging in simpish behavior. Do you get it now? Don't give them the satisfaction, guys. Give them respect, yes, but don't give them the satisfaction.
There's some women and men that do enjoy taking advantage of people.
She may sleep with you, okay, maybe once or twice, just to... She feels sorry for it, but she'll never respect you for it. No, she'll never respect you for it. It's those gentlemen who work on themselves and their craft. Those are the ones, and work on their purpose, those are the ones they respect, and those are the ones who they eventually love. Not a guy who was willing to be walked over in order to curry a woman attention and favor. What's the point? What is the absolute point? Work on yourself rather than being walked over, guys. You don't. Water finds its level eventually. Work on yourself. Work on your craft. Work on your game. Work on your personality. Work on you. And women will see the value in you. That's why I say simping must die. Because it serves a gentleman at the end of the day no purpose whatsoever. Absolutely no purpose. Because simping is a sucker. It's a sucker's game. He said it. You're willing to be walked over. You put a woman on a game. It's a sucker's game. And if you want to be considered a life sucker, continue in your path, even if you're rich or poor. You know how many rich suckers there are out there? Millions. It's just that
take care of you first. Don't put other people's wants, needs, and desires before yours. That's simple. And
there it is. There it is. Why put others' needs above your own? Why lower yourselves, lower your standards, lower your and lower your expectations just to put somebody else on a pedestal just so you can get the panties, just so you can get the draws, just so you can try to get some sort of romantic gentleman. I mean, emotionally, I would say vulnerable, emotionally detached gentlemen who only care about themselves. Those are the ones that women really, truly are intrigued by. They know who they are on his purpose because he's on the drive, because he realized that that's a sucker's game. That's what. That's why. So again, gentlemen, work on your purpose, work on your game, work on yourselves, work on your halterophilia, or on your physicality. And one would always respect, they see that as sexy, guys. When you put yourself first. Not to a point where you're vain now, but still, even then, you have a little nasty in you. Well, women still will find favor with you. They will. I mean, don't be that guy who literally limits themselves and puts themselves and their needs secondary to a woman's needs. Those days are over. Actually, those days never should never be. If you really want a woman's respect and to curry a woman's favor, put yourself first. We're finishing.
last but certainly not least, on my list, 10 sign who might be a simp is the guy who's constantly throwing money and attention to women. Here's the thing. A lot of guys who are simps are insecure. They think if I just have a lot of money, women will like me. Now, there are women who will like you, take advantage of you because of your money. That's not the kind of woman you want. No, I'm not telling you shouldn't be giving, kind, generous, pay for a date, but don't throw money money and attention at women at the hopes of getting her to like you.
There it is. I said it again. If you have to spend $500 or more on a woman and you have yet to get her sexual attention, you're in the wrong bag. Get out of there. Get out. Get out. Get out. Hell, men will have lower standards than that. Some men will say $100. Some will say $50. But let's make it fair. $500. 3 dates. If you cannot procure sexual favors and sexual attention and sexual intercourse with a woman after 3 dates, guys, you're in the friend zone, you're a sucker, and you are there to be taken advantage of. Don't. Please forget it. Well, that's old school. I mean, most guys don't agree with that in the first place. Not anywhere near these days. Sorry. For a woman to ask you this, fourth or the fifth, it's a sucker's game. They're looking for suckers then. It shouldn't take you more than 3 days to achieve sexual attention from a woman of whom there has to be a financial limit to what you will spend on a woman to get her in the sheets. And for most men, it should be about $500 or something similar to that. You spend over that, unless she's a high-priced call girl, no. A woman won't respect you for that. It won't. And that's simpish behavior, to be fair and frank. When you throw money at an issue, that's simpish behavior. There it is. And again, as my man said, throwing money at a problem, throwing money at an issue, especially for a woman's romantic and sexual attention, is a zero-sum game. Move on if you have to spend more than $500. Let me say that.
You want to get her to like you for you. Lead with your personality. Your sense of humor. And if a woman doesn't want you because you're not spending a bunch of money on her, she wasn't the right woman for you to begin with. Now, don't get me wrong. I spend money on my woman, but to a limit. But I lead with this charm, good looks, and sense of humor. Okay.
There you go. We'll leave it there. Again, he's absolutely correct. Thank you for the style OG. He's right. You should be leading with your personality, sense of humor, candor, decency. But you should have a limit. Women respect men with limits. If you have no limits, you're a sucker. There it is. You have no limits as a gentleman, especially in the dating department, you're a sucker. You're a simp. Don't be a simp. That's why simping must die. Because it's throwing the market into total disarray, the dating market into total disarray. And widening the gap between the haves and have-nots. Especially, as we said before in the last post, whereby the average income of individuals has shot up over the last 50 years. And men are leading with their wallets and willing to go, 76% of men are willing to go into debt, people, in order to curry a woman's favor. 76% of gentlemen are willing to go into debt in order to get the romantic attention of a woman, and it's silly. Absolutely silly that is indeed the case. You should not be throwing yourself into debt in order to curry a woman's favor. You shouldn't. And if you do, you better be throwing a ring on it. That's the only way you should get into debt. If you're in a relationship and you're throwing a ring on that woman. That's the only way. Other than that, I don't know what the hell you're doing. What's the point? What are you trying to prove? That's simp, sucker behavior. And it must die. Stop being a simp. Yes. So again, I'm gonna end off with this little video here by the one and only Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin, this is a few years back. This is when he was just growing his channel, and he was talking why men simp and stop playing it safe. And he's literally throwing game to you here. This is the final game portion of things and what men should do in certain situations where simping is a alternative. This is what you should be doing. I'll let it play.
Just clearing the saying so she can go ahead and get it in. The women that actually are the best, in my opinion, are the ones that are straight up and know what they do. But they're frowned upon. Guys, the world doesn't want us to be straight up because it is not, the world frowns upon masculinity. The point of it is ultimately simping, putting women ahead of your needs, putting anybody ahead of your needs is a bad way for any person to live. Every relationship I had where I actually suspended good, simple thought, and I decided to go ahead and put a woman on a pedestal, treat her like a princess, all these other things. You know what ended up happening? I was happy for about a month because she told me all the things I wanted to hear. You're like no other guy I've ever had before. You're so different. You're so this. You're so that. Then after that, after the new car smell wore off, that woman began to resent me. She had contempt for me, no respect for me, because when a woman knows that you will take whatever she does and let her get away with it, she had no respect for me. Simple as that. You out there being a sucker. So, and we're told, be upfront, open, honest with women. Telling your feelings. No, I'm telling you, hold stuff back from women. Don't tell them everything. Do not tell a woman that, you know what, whatever you do, I love your dirty drawers. You can do whatever and I'll take you back. No. First-hand experience, that doesn't work. When you check a woman, when you let them know that you are the catch, not them, you put them on your schedule, you make them jump through hoops to get to you, they are mentally engaged and enjoy that kind of stuff. Like I told you, said the other day, guy was like, well, you can't walk by and smack a woman on her butt today because the game is so messed up. This and I'm like, when's the last time you tried it? When's the last time you walked up to a woman in a bar or any place? Give you an example. Monday I was in Starbucks.
Before he goes into the example, I wouldn't exactly advocate you smack on a woman's butt, especially in this Me Too generation. But, hey, in certain capacity, you may want to try it. You may want to try it. Just a shit test. You may want to try it. But you got to know the time and place, but still. You may want to try it. But as he said, but at the end of the day, he said it again. Why be secondary in a woman's eyes by putting her first, pedestalizing her, throwing money at her? What's the point? She'll never respect you at the end of the day. She won't. As he said, keep things from women. This is more of a red pill adage, and that's why I say Kevin Samuels. That's why I say when I see Fresh and Fit with 800K, who they learn from is this man. This guy, Kevin Samuels himself. God rest his soul. This is the man who has a great who wrote the book on how to handle women. Sometimes you have to be nice, fine. You treat them with respect, fine. But sometimes you gotta have a little edge to you. And with that edge comes attention. They'll always wonder what you're doing next. They'll always wonder what what he's got in his mind. He'll always wonder. They'll always be on their toes, literally. They'll always be on their toes. They'll never know what's going to happen next. When you make things way too simple for them, they'll never respect you. They'll lose respect and they'll want to move on. Sometimes you got to hide things from them. Sometimes you got to tell a white lie every now and again. Sometimes you got to set limits for themselves. When you set limits on ladies, ladies respect you for that. They may not like you, but they will respect you. And what's wrong with that? Continue.
You see me in Starbucks, drop dead, gorgeous woman standing in front of me. She's got headphones on. I don't know this woman from campaign. She's ordering her stuff, and I say, I hold my cup up, say, I'll have the normal, and the beauty he was gonna pay for it, right? That woman looked at me. She's like, excuse me. I was like, oh, I told her it was on you because you got your Starbucks. You're beautiful. You know that. Oh yeah, I got it. A part of me said, oh, don't let her pay. Don't let her pay. Don't let her pay. What? Yes. Now see, the 20-something-year-old version of me would have took her outside, or would have, that would have went somewhere. But the 40-year-old in me that has gone through the simp stage, you got to get that simp up out of you. And here's one of the easiest ways to do it. You got to start hanging around more men. Men by themselves, we're like snipers pick off people alone. Look, that woman wanted to pay for my drink. I mean, and here's the thing, I ordered my drink. I ordered my pastries. Her drink was like $4. But my total, it came up to $14. And I saw the guy ring it up, and the lady had stepped off to the side. She was going to pay for my stuff, and I'd have a problem with it. A part of me was like, oh, don't let her do it. Don't let her do it. That's not a good man. I was like, okay, hold on, don't do this. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. She said, oh, enjoy that. Oh, by the way, introduced herself, asked me, was about to give me her card. I was like, here's my number. I gave her my number. I resisted. She called me 2 hours later. The rest of that story on another stream. The point is this, guys. Women like assertive men. I did not know that woman. I didn't need her to pay for that. I was just shit testing. I was just seeing what was going to happen because I was in a happy mood. But that reminded me of things I already know. And why have you guys never heard this side of me? Because as a businessman, as a brand, I have to balance, telling guys to be the best version of themselves. But by me telling you these truths, I have to also consider, man, that may be frowned upon by the powers that be. Because look, I think we live in a world where there are no rules, and you can go around and say what you want and just keep it real. Keeping it real can keep you broke. But that even reinforces the message, the fact that I can't tell you as a man things that I know that are successful. I didn't take advantage of anybody. I didn't do anything. That woman was attracted to me. She looked at me in a certain way. I knew that there was something going on. So let me round this back to the point I want to end on. Men, we need, if you're a man living in the city right now and you're having trouble with women, first off, you need to stop listening to women. You need to stop listening to married men and men in relationships. Don't listen to them. You need to listen to the single guys. Married men, my focus as a married man or a man in a relationship, it was completely different than my focus as a single guy. Thought completely differently. My motivations are completely different. Men need to start hanging around with more men. If you go out with 2 or 3 guys. Learn how to work together. Back to
Perfect example. Men need to be working together in order to when you head out there. You're much better in a wolf pack than as a lone wolf. It's much easier to take down prey once you are in a group. That stops simpish behavior. Men check each other for it. In my wolf pack, I run with a few guys myself. One in particular. And with that, women treat you with respect. It's funny that way. Once you act accordingly out in the, open dating market, you need a wolf pack in order to check you, to keep you in check, and to